February 26th, Callan Township Board of Commissioners meeting to order. If we could stand and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, prior to tonight's meeting, there was an executive session held February 19th and tonight regarding legal matters. First up is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there any citizens to be heard here in the township building? Seeing none, is there any on Teams? No. Okay, we will move on to public hearing amendments to the township code.
Hey Josh, can you hear me?
We can.
Hi guys.
Hey,
So a
Kristen.
couple things on my report tonight. The first are two hearings. These were the statewide building code, which is the Department of Labor and Industry identifies what addition of the various parts of the statewide building code that the municipalities have to use, and they've updated for the fire code. And for the property maintenance code. So the first is an amendment to amend Chapter 83, which is your fire prevention code, to make it clear that the township is adopting the International Fire Code 2021 edition. And that's the only change that we're making. It's basically a one paragraph change. Section 83-1 is the portion of your fire code where you identify what fire code you're using. Because this is an ordinance, we had to advertise tonight's hearing. We did that in the Daily Local on February 18th. And I also sent a copy of the ordinance to the Daily Local and to the Law Library on February 2nd for public inspection.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just real quick, is Jane online? Okay, I just wanted to make sure this. Okay. I'll ask when we do the vote to see if she's there. So Kristen, we just need to do a motion to approve this ordinance, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-03, amending the code of Callan Township by amending chapter 83 titled Fire Prevention to adopt the 2021 International Fire Code.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further questions from the board? Any questions from the public? All right, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Jane, are you here? Okay, so motion carries 3-0. Next up is ordinance 2026-04, amending chapter 120 of the Township Code.
So again, the edition of the property maintenance code that's been updated that you will now be enforcing is the 2021 edition. This is amending chapter 120 of your code, one section, again, section 120-1, same advertisement and same email to the Law Library and Daily Local for public inspection of this ordinance. It is ready for you, somebody to make a motion similar to the last one.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve ordinance 2026-04, amending the Township Code by amending chapter 120 titled Property Maintenance to adopt the 2021 International Property Maintenance Code.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any further questions from the board? Any questions from the public? And all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, so motion carries 3-0. Next up is proposed chapter 33 update for fire and emergency services advertisement.
So this has not been advertised yet. This is for discussion purposes for you to move it forward. Ray indicated to me that he sent you a memo to explain the purpose of this. It's an overhaul of chapter 33, which is your titled fire and emergency services. Ray explained to me that this is bringing this code section into compliance with how you're currently operating that department, bringing in the career firefighters, also dealing with your emergency services, your fire marshal. It's now basically just codifying how that department is being run. So this, again, would need just a 1-week advertisement. So you could, I think you're typically doing ordinances at your second meeting of the month. So if somebody was comfortable with it, we could advertise it for your March, the second meeting in March.
Any
And Ray's
questions?
available to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board? No. Okay, then I will entertain a motion to authorize advertisement for the Chapter 33 update for fire and emergency services.
So moved.
Second. Any further questions from the board? Any questions from the public? Ray, did you want to say anything before we?
No, not really. I just so you know, and again, Chief Taylor's in the audience, and so is Executive Director Dry from Minquist. Obviously, I developed this ordinance in cooperation with, or in communication with them. Ran that by them. They had a few questions. We discussed that, and they both were fine. And I believe they agree that it's currently how we operate.
Okay. All right, any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Great, so we'll move that to your March 26th meeting for a public hearing. The next is a lot line change plan. So there's 3 different properties, 110 Stonebridge Lane, 114 Stonebridge Lane, and 570 Lloyd Avenue. Property owner is Ramez Almadant. I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly. And the way I understand it is they are moving some lot lines to give the 2 lots that currently have dwellings. One actually has a swimming pool in the rear, looking for some additional land in the back. So the larger parcel is contributing land to those 2 smaller parcels that front along Stonebridge Lane. The larger parcel, which has frontage along Lloyd Avenue, is not being, there's no development proposed at this time. So it's really just reconfiguring the lot lines for the 3 different parcels. The planning commission did review this and gave a recommendation to approve. There are 2 waivers associated with this lot line change. The one is from section 137-42A to not require curbing along Lloyd Avenue. And the second is section 137-43B to not require sidewalks along Lloyd Avenue. I believe the planning commission was comfortable with the waivers, but did have discussion on, in the event that the larger parcel, which is parcel 39-2-86.2, the one that's vacant, if that parcel were to be developed or subdivided in the future, or even just built upon with a single family dwelling, that they would want the applicant at that time to install the sidewalk and I believe curbing as well. One of the concerns that Ray and I raised about that is, if this plan is recorded and that vacant lot in the future goes to build just 1 dwelling, that would not constitute subdivision or land development. There really wouldn't be a great way to track that condition. I'm not saying it couldn't be enforced. I'm saying it might be difficult for if it's 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road. It's hard to memorialize that condition. That application would just go to the building code official who may not know that this note exists. One of the things that Adam had suggested, and I think it's a good idea, and Ray and I talked about it prior to the meeting, is that the condition could be that the owner of that parcel and revises the plans to provide a sidewalk easement along North Lloyd Avenue. That easement would be granted to the township in the event the township ever conducted a project, or even another developer, for example, was going to construct a project to install a sidewalk. The township would already have the land area needed to install that sidewalk. So that's a great option. We've done that before. I know we've done that on some projects along Lincoln Highway where it was not feasible to install a sidewalk due to utility poles, etc. So that would be one option. So let me lay out the options with respect to the waiver. 1, don't grant the waiver. They have to install curbing and sidewalk now. 2, fully grant the waivers. They don't install curbing and sidewalk. And then the third option, which I think was Adam's suggestion, grant the waiver for the curbing, but require the property owner to grant an easement for the sidewalk along the frontage of North Lloyd. So that's 3 different ways that you can handle the waivers. The rest of the motion is pretty straightforward. It's compliance with obviously they have to get if anybody, there's no development proposed as part of the subdivision, lot line change. So in the future, they would have to get a sewage facilities planning module if there's any development in the future. They have to comply with the township engineer's last review letter, reimburse the township for any outstanding fees, and all the other ones are boilerplate that you see in every motion. So at this point, I think it'd be appropriate for you to discuss how you'd like to handle the waiver request for curbing and sidewalk.
Okay, so discussion from the board on the sidewalk and curbing.
I was at the planning commission meetings when they were discussing this. I particularly am in favor with Commissioner Thomas's idea to do the easement at this point, at this juncture.
Adam?
Well, it's my idea. I guess we. Yeah, I like the idea of preserving the option of, at some point, we're gonna have sidewalks down both sides of that
Mhm.
thoroughfare. So I would like to protect pedestrians. So at this point, I'd like to preserve at least an element of an opportunity to put sidewalks in at some point.
I think it's a good idea, so, Kristen,
Can I
how
ask-
would,
Yeah,
ahead.
can I ask Ray, would it be a 20-foot wide sidewalk easement? How much width do you think we need for the easement?
I'd actually need to talk, I'd need to look at the code and talk to Lowell. I can do that first thing tomorrow, but I'd have to look at, like we talked about, I have to look at what our current right of way is and then what we would need for that 5-foot wide sidewalk.
Okay,
So-
so what we would do is we would revise paragraph 4, condition number 4, and we would say that the board grants the waiver for curbing. The board grants the waiver for this particular applicant to not be required to install sidewalk right now, provided that the applicant will provide a sidewalk easement along the property frontage of Lloyd Avenue in a width to be determined by the township, and that would be determined with Ray in consultation with the engineer.
That sounds good.
Mm.
So I'll entertain a motion for what Kristen just said.
Yeah, well,
So moved.
so moved. There we go.
Second.
Is there any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, is there any discussion from the public? Anyone online? No? Jane is on, okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you, Adam, for that great suggestion.
Oh, thank you.
The last thing is some items that are associated with Mainline Health and them moving their highway occupancy permits forward with the PennDOT. So they are currently continuing to work with PennDOT, and these two different parts of this, they can't go forward. It's sort of like the chicken and the egg. So they're continuing to work in complying with all the conditions of their land development approval. Obviously, they have many outside agency permits to obtain, and they are working on that. The first is something that the board is used to seeing, and that is they are putting drainage facilities within Manor Avenue, which is a state road. In order to put those drainage facilities in that road, they need a separate highway occupancy permit for those drainage facilities. And they are specifically 3 inlets, type C, 2 inlets, type M, 1 manhole, 257 linear feet of 18-inch reinforced concrete pipe, and 40 linear feet of 15-inch reinforced concrete pipe. So those are the specific drainage facilities that they need a highway occupancy permit from PennDOT in order to install. PennDOT requires the township be the permittee, or at least the co-permittee, on these applications. So the first document is a PennDOT form resolution. It's titled M950AA, authorization for agent to apply for highway occupancy permit. What I would say is this goes hand in hand with the drainage improvements operations maintenance agreement, where basically the township says, fine, we understand, we, based on PennDOT's regulations, need to be the permittee, but we are not going to maintain these facilities going forward. These facilities are being installed to basically handle the stormwater that you need because of your development. So we've done these agreements in several instances before. They are common to shift the responsibility of maintenance to the applicant. I will note that in the drainage improvement agreement, it does not get recorded right away. We actually attach the highway occupancy permit to it as Exhibit B. The other thing in this agreement that we will need to fill out is based on when they get their highway occupancy permit, we will insert the dates for when the inspections have to commence. So those dates are left blank because we were not certain when that permit would be issued. So they need they need to submit the application to get the permit. The permit will then be attached to the agreement. We'll make sure the agreement is in our hands before they're permitted to record the plans. So that's the first two. I'll explain the third, and then we can do individual motions. The next one is something I've not seen before, and I think it's because we haven't really had any projects where a new road is being constructed. The new Geo Carlson extension is connecting into the state road, as we said, Manor Avenue, and PennDOT, as a condition of issuing the permits related to that connection of Geo Carlson to Manor Avenue, because Geo Carlson is going to be a township road, but it's connecting into the state road, which is what necessitates the highway occupancy permit. PennDOT wants and is requiring that this highway occupancy permit condition statement be submitted with the HOP that basically says that once the township accepts dedication of Geo Carlson Boulevard, the township will then assume any responsibilities for what that permit entails. To me, I don't think there's much risk in doing this. We as the township will determine when it is appropriate to accept Geo Carlson. Ray and I have had a couple of discussions about that. That obviously will come back to the board with, probably when construction is completed. But you will be involved in that conversation as to when you're willing to take dedication. This agreement doesn't really kick in terms of the township taking on the responsibilities as the permittee until such time as the township owns the Geo Carlson extension. This agreement was reviewed by Mike Schneider, the township traffic engineer from Pinoni. He is familiar with these. He has seen them before, and he has stated that he has no objection to the board agreeing to sign this so that the applicant can submit it to PennDOT. One of the attachments to this agreement will be the township standard development agreement, the land development agreement, which is a form that my office has, and I have provided that to Ryan Jennings. They're fine with signing that and attaching it to this agreement when it is submitted to PennDOT.
So how do you want to handle this, Kristen? The first two as one motion?
Yeah, I think the first motion could be that you authorize the township to submit the application for the drainage improvements as part of the HOP, conditioned upon the applicant signing the drainage improvement operations and maintenance agreement, and you authorize the chairman to so sign that document.
So I will entertain a motion for what Kristen just laid out.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
I'll give it to Jane.
I keep forgetting to do this. Moved by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Kennedy. Any discussion on the motion? Any comments from the public? Nobody online either? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0 on the first motion.
And the next would be just to authorize the president to sign the highway occupancy permit condition statement for the applicant to submit to PennDOT as part of their HOP for the Geo Carlson connection to Manor Avenue.
I will entertain a motion for what Kristen just laid out.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Thomas. Any further questions or discussion? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Kristen.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a good rest of your meeting.
You have a question?
Oh, no. We
Okay.
did the first two together. That's fine.
Thank you, Kristen.
Okay,
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Have a great one, Kristen.
Bye-bye.
All right, next, director's reports. We'll start with Minquist. I think there's a microphone in that basket there.
There we go.
Yep.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Missed you, had to come back, so.
Mike and Tim are at a previous engagement, so they said their apologies, but here I am. January was a pretty consistent month, on target where we have seen ourselves recently over the years. What we have noticed is a clustering of some fourth and fifth calls. I know that the question is going to be, what are fourth and fifth calls? So normally in a 24-hour period, we have 60 hours worth of coverage. That's three trucks stored a day that can handle 3 calls. So anything greater than that is a fourth call or a fifth call. And we have 2 at night, one here in Cal, one in Downingtown. So anything greater than those 2 is a third, fourth, or fifth call. So noticed a clustering of about 6 instances in January where that was prevalent. So that's one of the things we're going to keep working, and monitoring that demand on the system as a whole. Haven't pinpointed to a specific area, but that is something we are going to closely monitor.
Do you know, is that because you're on another call for someone else or at a hospital waiting? Do you know that statistic?
So the statistic is it's usually we are, I would say it's a 50-50 shot.
Okay.
Looking at the data that was pulled for January, 50% of the times it was the wall times or waiting at a hospital for a transfer. And then the other 50 was maybe covering another agency as a part of a mutual aid. So again, this is an infancy stage, but this is a problem that we saw, and we're going to continue to trend that or continue to monitor that trend. Fund Drive is out. Our membership subscription is out. Currently, we're probably about 90% of where we want to be comparative to last year. Obviously, there's always room for growth. There's always room for improvement. I don't have the hard facts for this meeting, but I will share that with Director Stackhouse to hopefully include that in our next month's report. But again, just a friendly reminder, membership subscriptions are out in the mail. There will be a reminder coming out late March, early February, just that reminder notice. But there are multiple ways to do it now. So online, mailing in the check, or just stopping by, seeing my friendly face to hand over your membership subscription.
Just remind people what a membership does for.
So a membership, good point. A membership is it almost acts in place of a secondary or tertiary insurance. So what happens is you call 911, we transport you, we bill your insurance company, and then that outstanding balance is the responsibility of the insured. With a membership, I'm going to use a family plan, and for instance, for $110, that remaining balance we will not balance bill you for. So again, that remaining balance could be $1,500 depending on the call volume or the call level, basic or advanced. There could be a remaining balance that is ultimately the responsibility of the patient. So this, by partaking in the membership program, helps the patient and wipes that bill away after is the key word, after the insurance company makes their payments. What's that?
Your website. I was going to do it online right now.
It's because you chose the wrong one. I'll have to go over that with you later. There's a special one for you.
There's a special one. Okay.
Otherwise, administratively, we are looking at purchasing, or we already signed for them, but we're looking at taking delivery of our 2 new ambulances, April and May. So that's well needed. And so once I have some further information, pictures, I'll be sharing that with Director Stackhouse again, so you can share with the board. So otherwise, that's all that I have, unless you have any questions on my report.
You see, we're down to 35% or 36%.
Hey, whoa. Paul's not here to do the math on me. No, in reality, January was kind of a slower month, but it was hopefully because it was cold, everybody was staying inside, bundled up, taking their meds so that they weren't sick. That type of deal. Today's seasonally weather is really taking a toll on our crews, so they're busy today. So it's hit or miss, but yes.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
Thank you for everything you
Yeah,
do. It's
thank
really
Thank
good to
you.
see
Thank you.
It's been a while.
Next up, Thorndale Fire Company. Patrick.
Good evening.
Good
All
evening.
right. Not to hopefully confuse, but our fire company fund drive is also out. That is not a subscription. That is just to kind of cover additional expenses. Obviously we receive funding from the township and that's graciously appreciated. We receive state funds through our fireman's relief. But there are limitations on what that can be used for. So that fund drive is really to kind of help purchase some additional things. Off top, I was just trying to run some numbers off the top of my head. Maybe 10 years ago, $20,000 to outfit a firefighter. Today, we're probably looking closer to 60, just one single firefighter. I think that would be a good rule of thumb. Gear, went from $3,000 to $4,000. For one firefighter today, just coats, boots, and pants, that's it, is about $6,000. So it's not cheap. So again, we've received an overwhelming number of donations, so thank you. The last time we had reported our mobile version of our site did not have the donate button. That was fixed the very next meeting, or the very next day rather, after the meeting. So you're able to do that. So again, thank you. Other than that, we had a very, very busy January. We did have one snowstorm that we talked about last month. I'm trying not to use that S word again because warm weather is upon us, I feel like, and I want to keep it that way.
Let's not will it on us.
Yeah. But for this past Sunday's event, we remained staffed with roughly 10, and Ray will probably also comment, but about 10 volunteers and career staff running about 4 calls during that total snowstorm. For Commissioner Evans, since I know you ask every time, since I was on today and just did a quick look, since last Friday, we were on the Route 30 bypass 9 times, and that's through 5 o'clock tonight. Culmination of accidents, vehicle fires, and medical calls, just providing safety and blocking for the EMS partners. So it's been busy. Obviously, there are times where we go some time without being on the bypass. Thank God. Unfortunately, I've been told by some of the crews that operated weekly, they're kind of lucky they've been able to come back to the firehouse. People have gone out and around them as they're blocking traffic, racing them up the bypass. So this is just some of the things we face. And I realize I'm trying to recruit members and this is deterring them. So we're just going to block that out. But I just being honest there. And finally, I know one thing Commissioner Mullen had asked was average years of service and things like that. So I have 2 for tonight. Dan Fitzgerald has completed 2 years with Thorndale, and Christian Schutz 8 years. So other than that, that's all I have. We're looking forward. I'm going to steal Ray's thunder for a second. We're looking forward to seeing the new unit in just a few weeks where we go down for final inspection, and hope to have it here in Cowan Township very soon after, and in service very soon after that. It's needed. So thank you. If any questions?
Any
Do you
questions?
guys have like a wet down ceremony or anything at the firehouse for that, or?
If we do, we're going to make it sure it's in the summertime.
Good call.
I don't like cold water
Yeah,
and, except to drink. So we'll make sure it's in the summertime if we do it.
perfect.
Any other questions from the board?
Just stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Really appreciate you guys.
In your eye.
Certainly do our best. And with what we got, unfortunately, I think we know everybody, and I'm sure Chief Elias can, with his officers, can attest that it seems like, and I think I've heard Commissioner Evans, you say nobody has, I don't want to say comment, but empathy anymore, or it just seems like everybody's self-awareness for everybody else has kind of gone out the window, and we can't get in their way. Unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast, but we try to do whatever we can. And I know we're constantly getting screamed at for shutting down roadways, but I'd rather get screamed at than get flattened.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
so, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
Next up, Public Works. I know you guys have been quite busy and you've done an excellent job of keeping the roads open and safe for our residents to drive on. So I will turn it over to you, but yeah, thank you for everything you've done over the past couple of weeks.
That's been the biggest thing for us. Obviously, the snow the past month seems like it's coming every weekend. But other than the snow, it's been the same old thing, you know, fixing the mailboxes that we take down with the snowstorms, damaged signs, and then everyday stuff that we do, taking care of inlets. Now, this time of year with the potholes coming up, trying to keep those filled in. Other than that, it's just everyday stuff, taking care of the parks, maintaining the roadways and underpasses, just trying to keep it neat and clean. Pretty short and sweet with that one.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Next up, Building and Life Safety.
You're done with it? You good? Thank you, commissioners. We started out fairly busy in January with permits, or at least steady anyway. Couple highlights on all of our residential development. Despite the weather, continued to move along. The hills at Thorndale Woods, if you haven't had a chance to drive through there, you should. I mean, single family dwellings are going up, seemingly daily. I mean, it's about every 6 weeks, they get another one under roof. So they're just really knocking that out. Some of you may have heard that the My Place development, the half of phase 3 and all of phase 4 was sold to D.R. Horton, which is a national builder. Basically, they bought the ground that the buildings sit on and the right to build the buildings. Fernmore will continue to, have ownership of the rest of the development, unless they decide to end up selling that at some point. I did have a couple meetings with D.R. Horton just to set the expectations, and kind of give them the rundown. They're building the most sensitive phases of that project. So we did have a long conversation about that, but everything I've heard, I haven't had experience with them, but everything I've heard is that they're a very conscientious builder. So hopefully they follow through with that. All the land development projects are kind of in different phases of resubmittal, that you're aware of. Emergency services, we were preparing for civil service tests that we held last Sunday. We had about 15 applications. 9 of those were accepted as complete. 8 people showed up for the testing and 6 passed the written testing. So 6 will move on to oral interviews, which will be held, one will be Wednesday this coming week, and the other 5 will be Friday this coming week. So hopefully, we keep moving forward that. We did promote 2 part-timers internally to full-time. So this list will at least right now, just be for part-time firefighters. As Chief Taylor mentioned, we continue to work on expectations for the demo that's coming in. We fly down in 2 weeks, and hopefully we will come back with a date where it'll be delivered, but we still have a lot of work to plan out, getting equipment mounted, getting training done and getting it in service. But as he mentioned, our only engine that we have is taking a beating with, the extended call volume last year. And we're starting off this year with just a high call volume as we did last year. Fire Marshal's Office, the commercial fire inspection program and the vacant property registrations are right where they should be. We did 22 vacant property registrations in January. Most of those commercial storefronts and a few residential. EMS, as Derek had mentioned, they stay busy. His operational staff stayed in touch with me during EMS high call volumes and storm responses. Speaking of storm response, I can't say enough about Chief Tower and the volunteers at Thorndale during both storms, but specifically the bigger of the storms, including Chief Tower. They were there for, almost 2.5 days, responding ahead of EMS with the plow and one of the both utility trucks, to assure staff got there and, kind of lighten the load on Public Works in the front of the firehouse, keeping that open. They did the same thing with the second storm. So it was just great to see everybody come together and provide that service between fire and EMS. Couple public outreach and public education programs in January. Handicrafter employees fire safety training. There was 2 trainings for a total of 183 staff trained. That's it for this month.
Any questions from the board? Next up is Ingleside Golf Course, but it doesn't look like Nicole is here.
So I apologize, commissioners. Excuse me. Nicole had a last minute conflict and was unable to make it this evening.
Okay. You have Nicole's report. Any questions you can send to her or through Don. Next up, community enhancement. Abby.
All right. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Great. No, I should label those better. Okay. Let me just.
Will say your report is always so colorful and well done. So.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Don't be jealous, Ray.
He is.
I was trying to.
You do good with crayons.
Oh,
Wow.
I was expecting finger paint, but okay, we'll go with crayons.
So January's been extra busy, far busier than I ever remember it being for us. And I think the nature of that is basically that we have an epic number of events coming up for this year, and they're going to be huge and awesome. So we're racing around trying to get everything laid out, scheduled, advertised. It's going to be a great year. Grant announcement was huge. Don compiled all of the overall grant numbers. Beaver Creek Trail, especially. I've been working a little bit with DCNR on getting that ball rolling. It's a big one, so very exciting. And yeah, we did the usual winter things. Always popular. I know you guys like the social media posts. The grants, obviously very popular. New commissioners, everybody loved that. Thanks for sharing. Some great snow pictures. And then the rest of the month seemed like it was just posting about what to do and not to do in wintry weather. Lots of website hits. This was funny. I don't know if you guys can see during the snowstorm, the website hits just like go through the roof. And yeah, I hope everybody saw the 250 kickoff preview video that we put together. If not, it's still up there and it's on YouTube as well. It's pretty cute. And the EAC, I mean, I know I keep saying this, but they're amazing. So we gave them 2 pretty large plans to review and provide some feedback for the 2 developers. And having never done that before, it was a pretty big load, but by the time we had our meeting, they had all their ducks in a row and lots of really great comments to pass along to the Planning Commission and to the BOC. So I'm grateful for all. They're spending a lot of homework time, I will say, which is great. And then we scheduled a winter sewing workshop. And I think within 2 days, the first session was full. So we scheduled a second session, and that will be in my February report, but it was very successful and looking forward to doing more EAC related events in the future. Any questions?
Wasn't that sewing event like around a storm or something like that? And didn't you just come back and like
Yeah,
the day before? Like,
you're right.
congratulations.
That's right. And
Yeah.
and we had to go buy dirt,
Yeah.
and the dirt was frozen outside at Lowe's.
Yeah.
So we're like thawing the dirt out in the office. It was fun. It was really fun.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Any other questions from the board or comments?
Yeah, how did I miss the 250 preview video? I disappear from social media for like 2 or 3 weeks at a time, and then when I come back on, I've missed all the good stuff. So I got to go look.
I mean, it's
Look at
very short. It's just a teaser, but it is also on the YouTube site. And I think it was at the beginning of the month that we put that out. It's the one that looks like the old TV.
I love it.
Okay.
Great job.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Next up, Police Department. Chief.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Staff milestones, Tracy Laws, 6 years.
Yeah.
Samantha DeFrancesco and Travis Fisher, 4 years. Tyler Reese and William Verakakis, 3 years. McLean Brostrom and Derek Costello, 2 years. Derek Geisler, 1 year. And that includes December's milestones, since there was no report per se for December. Calls for service in January were 1,003 compared to 881 during the same period a year ago. Self-initiated calls were 2,660, up from 1,480 a year ago, and they include business checks, bank checks, park checks, vacation checks. The traffic safety unit has now been operational for 1 month. In that month's time, they made 74 traffic stops, 44 of them on Lincoln Highway, which will continue to be a focus of that unit. They issued 69 warnings, 7 traffic citations. They investigated 12 crashes, and they served 13 criminal warrants and found those people a nice warm home in Chester County Prison. Really, that's
We're still here. Barely, but we're still here.
Anything else, Chief?
that's all I have unless you have
Thank
any
you so
questions.
much. And yeah, the year over year on traffic citations, I was pointing, we were just, it's like, yeah. Great. So nice to have that team.
Well, and I don't know, earlier this week, Ray and we had a meeting with Bar and Bar. That's a construction company that's going to be doing the work for the new mainline health. And that traffic safety unit, I think that will really come in handy to help mitigate or prevent any traffic related issues while the construction phase of that project is underway. So another benefit that we will see of that unit.
Chief, I'm assuming the year-to-date drop is the IU with the sheriff's department stepping in, or are we seeing a decrease overall?
In the CCIU,
Yeah,
significant.
okay, good. And
Uh,
then,
Just to give you an idea, the last 2 weeks, there have been 26 service calls there. We were involved with 3 of them.
okay,
And they were child line investigations that
Yeah.
the district attorney's office requires us to investigate, not the sheriff's, but the Chester County Sheriff's School Resource Officers have made a significant impact and improvement as far as we're concerned. Our number of resources that we allocate there are minute compared to the last dozen or so years.
excellent.
Congratulations to you,
Yeah,
you guys for working through that and getting it resolved.
Took a while, but
Did it?
the persistence eventually paid off.
Any other questions from the board?
the only other question I have, and this goes toward something else we're dealing with, and that is the accidents. If there was a heat map of where these were taking place, is there any 1 or 2 clusters that you would point out as this is where the major accidents are happening?
We get our share of crashes on Lincoln Highway.
Okay.
And, we talk about it all the time. The road system, when it was planned, certainly didn't account for the kind of development and traffic that we would see years and years later. So, and that's that's going to be another responsibility of the traffic safety unit, conducting traffic studies and actually reviewing traffic crash data so that they could focus their enforcement efforts on those areas that are more prone to traffic crashes.
Okay, I look forward to hearing that data when it comes out. And I've now been so advised, so I will keep the speed under 90 on Lincoln Highway.
He's not the one I worry about. I won't even say who it is, but somebody I know does like to drive fast on Lincoln Highway. It ain't me.
Well, thank you, Chief.
Yes.
Next up, Finance Department, Lisa.
Hey, happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday, Lisa.
The township's finances, again, are in excellent condition, which has become our norm, I'm happy to say. Nothing really left to highlight there. It's that time again, that time of the year for the annual township's tax bills to go out. Should start the 26th, which I think is today. Yep, through the weekend. So please be on the lookout for those. Reminder that the discount period starts March 1st through April 30th, and that's a 2% discount. That period, we usually collect anywhere from 90 to 94% of all of the real estate tax bills. So, it's a nice little perk to get that extra 2%. So I want to make sure that that's out there and talked about. Face value runs from May 1st to June 30th. And then the penalty phase is paid July 1st or after, and that's a whopping 10%. So there's a lot of incentive there to get it done earlier, if that's at all possible. And just a reminder as well that there's several ways to pay this bill. Preferred is online, but up to you. You will need your tax bill for that. The mail becomes available as well, and the drop box that's right outside of our township building. The sewer bills have an auto debit that we can do as well, but that's only for sewer and trash, not for the annual. That kind of wraps up my finance report, unless anyone has a question.
Any questions from the board? Thank you.
Thank you.
And any questions from the public on any of the director's reports? All right, seeing none, we will move on to the checklist. I'll entertain a motion to approve checks 55,416 through 55,479 and manual check 324.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Kennedy. Any questions or comments on the checks? Anything from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Township Manager, cybersecurity improvements.
Thank you, Commissioners. First item on the agenda for my section is cybersecurity improvements. We discussed this at the workshop meeting earlier in the month. There's really two components of this improvement. The first is some recommendations from Help Now, our IT provider. Now we have requested an updated quote from Help Now, which I don't believe we received by time of this meeting. So we will be presenting that to the board at some point in the very near future. The second component of the improvements is from our insurance provider, Brown & Brown. And they didn't say it in so many ways, but more or less with all the different ways individuals can hack organizations, they strongly encourage, to the degree that if we do not provide this coverage, they may not be able to provide coverage in the future. This essentially increases the liability limits if a malicious individual would happen to breach our security and secure funds, try to hijack data and hold it for ransom, things of that sort. So this would be an increased cost in our premium of $3,060 per year.
small price to pay if something actually does happen.
Absolutely.
Any questions from the board? Great. I will entertain a motion to accept the cybersecurity insurance proposal from Brown and Brown.
So moved.
Second? Second. Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Mullen. Any further questions from the board? Any from the public here or online? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up, 2026 lawn maintenance bid advertisement.
Thank you, Commissioners. Again, this was discussed at the workshop meeting, and it's very similar to the bid advertisements that we've had for lawn maintenance in years past. We had updated the form really to include change the date from last year to this year. At the last board meeting, there was a recommendation to include the bid option 16 of the Amtrak right-of-way along Business 30 to see what the price would be. That was put back into the bid as an option.
Mhm.
And however, I know Public Works has received certification in order to mow those areas. And so if the board doesn't, once we receive the bids back, if the board does not choose to move forward with that bid option, we do have coverage with staff at Public Works. This includes 15 additional locations throughout the township. They would be out 28 times over the course of the season, starting April 1st. As needed. Of course, we have a drought conditions, things of that sort. We do reserve the right to say it doesn't quite need to be cut this time.
All right, any questions on the lawn maintenance bid?
No.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to advertise the 2026 lawn maintenance bid.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Mullen, second by Commissioner Evans. Any further questions? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up, North Bailey Road property acquisition.
Thank you, Commissioners. Some time ago, the township was approached by owner of property at 300 North Bailey Road, inquiring if the township was interested in purchasing that property. Following a significant due diligence period, including inspections, structural inspections, really going through environmental assessment, things of that sort. We did not uncover any red flags on the property. Negotiating with the property owner, we were able to reach an agreement, and the township is in a position to acquire that property. It's currently operating as a restaurant. It abuts the golf course, and the part of the agreement is that the seller will maintain all infrastructure necessary to operate as a restaurant, essentially a turnkey operation. In the event that we are able to identify someone to lease that property to, it would benefit the golf course to have consistent food service at that facility. The other item that was really appealing in terms of the purchase is that property, as it is right next to the golf course. Years ago, when it was subdivided, there were quite a number of lease easements along the property lines. So for example, a portion of the property being purchased is the first tee of Ingleside Golf Club. We've worked with the current owner of the property over the years. We have not had a problem with that easement, but of course there is always the opportunity in the future for whoever may purchase that property to challenge the easement. And we would be in quite a difficult position in terms of the golf course. By combining that parcel with the larger golf course parcel, it does increase the value of the entire facility as a whole for the township as an asset. In the spirit of transparency, of course, the board wanted to have this on the agenda this month. We have not closed on the property, of course, but wanted to bring it to the public to make sure the township residents were aware that we're moving in this direction. I'm happy to answer any questions from the board or the public regarding this property.
Any questions?
No, I just the idea of being reunited with the whole property is a pretty big deal.
Any questions from the public here in the building? I see a hand raised online.
That is Mark DeYoung.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark, you there?
He's still
Still
muted.
muted.
Aren't you in the parking lot, Mark?
All right, well, Mark, if you can get yourself unmuted, we'll come back to you.
And Mark, if you're not able to, you can always contact me first thing tomorrow. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Give it another second here.
Is he able to do it?
I think he took his hand down now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
I
Go
I
ahead.
do have one question or comment. If we do decide to go with this purchase, the easement issues, can that be modified or rectified once we own that piece of property?
We would have several options regarding the easements, essentially combine them all into one, a larger parcel. Modify in order to eliminate those easements, so it's clean. And we can certainly explore the best way to move that forward. Obviously, as it would be under township ownership, both the golf club and the restaurant. There's pluses and minuses to each approach, and we'll be happy to explore those as we move forward and bring those to the board for consideration. But yes, short answer, yes, we'd be able to clean that up and make sure it's not as confusing. It is very complicated when you read those easement agreements. It's quite lengthy and it very difficult to unpack.
You know,
Can you
just
hear me
looking-
now?
Ah,
There you go, Mark.
Yeah,
Mark.
I'm sorry. It's Mark DeYoung, 20 Beaver Run Road. I think it's a great idea to have the restaurant attached to the golf course. My concern would be, the restaurants there have not done very well. So I think we should take that into consideration. I'm not sure what the purchase price is of the restaurant, but finding a franchise or somebody to run it professionally where we can have a mutual relationship between the golf course and the owner of the restaurant would be terrific. I just think it's a hard pull to do that. And I understand that they had the easements over to the first tee and probably part of that first fairway. So those are my concerns. I don't know what the purchase price was or anything like that. So I guess that's the question I would ask is how much is the purchase price?
Of course, thanks. And Mark, to answer your first point about running a restaurant, I can say without hesitation, I am not interested in managing a restaurant on top of everything else. I have family members who are in
Thank you
that
much.
business. It's a difficult task. We would be looking to lease the property to an established restaurant and have started outreach to various well-known entities to see if there's interest, and there has been. So hopefully we'll be successful there. But that would not be something that would fall under the umbrella of township operations.
That's terrific news. That's we don't belong in the restaurant business, so that's
No.
that's a tough
Absolutely.
job. So
It
I
is.
hope we can get somebody in there and they can do a great job and connect with the golf course. And I think with the removal of a couple trees and a nice walkway from the golf course to the to the restaurant, I think those things will be absolutely terrific, and it should be mutual beneficiary ownership. But the only problem is finding that right tenant. That's all.
That's right. Agreed. In terms of the purchase price, the agreed upon price for the sale of the restaurant building, which is 8,000 square feet plus, and then 3.3 acres along North Bailey Road, was $925,000.
Okay.
And obviously we're negotiating with the restaurant equipment and things of that sort. So there might be a little bit extra to purchase the remaining assets associated with running the restaurant, but the property itself was 925.
Okay, and this
It's
is
a
a little
pretty good
off the
deal.
record, but I was involved heavily in the golf course when the golf course was in debt to the township for a lot of money. And when Nicole came in, I actually saw what she did on day one, and I really put my trust in her. She got hands-on involved in fixing sprinklers and all kinds of things. So I withdrew from the golf committee because I want her to be able to manage it without outside influence. And I'm sure she's done a great job. And just the question is, where are we financially with the golf course? Is the golf course in debt to the township anymore, or are we still covering that bill?
It's close, almost completely in the black there. Obviously the paying off the what was borrowed to purchase, that's going to, I think we have a couple more years left, and that's 3, I believe.
I think
There
it's 5.
5.
Five.
That
A few more
included
years.
a refi.
But the refi was the same time length.
Right. Okay.
But the benefit, of course, is the number of users, the golfers that are visiting. This year, the course closed total revenue just shy of $1 million, which was the highest, amount that facility has earned for the township. So continuing to move in the right direction, that is clear. And improvements, I agree with you 100% that Nicole has made on that course that are being seen and felt by those that utilize it. And we're trying, obviously, with moving forward with this property, trying to open up the complex more to other residents as well.
And I'll just tag on to that. In January of this year, even with the snow, they brought in close to $5,500 in revenue. That was a 42% increase over January of 2025, year over year. And 212 golfers this January, which is a 1,078% increase over 2025. So there's a lot of work to be done there, but it's really moving in the right direction.
Wait a minute. How many golfers?
We just need a fee for sledding and we'll be fine.
Yes, yes, we do.
Yeah. So
Sledding would have
Just so I
been
don't have to
400
raise my
and some.
hand a second time. I just wanted to really say how much I appreciate, and I'm sure a lot of people in this township appreciate, was the snow removal.
Yeah.
That happened. I was shoveling my driveway on Monday, and all of a sudden when I got done, the plow truck went the other way, and I'm like, he's going to come back and just plow me back in again. And I don't know who's driving that thing, but he's great. Because I barely had anything more to go out there and shovel, and I was so grateful.
Well, we'll pass along your thank you to the plow driver. If Dwayne, if you can pass along that thank you. Anything else, Mark?
No, that was it. I just wanted to
All right,
pass that
thank you.
along.
Thank you very much. Tony, you have a question?
yeah, we get a microphone for Tony.
Here.
Sure.
It does not include the liquor license. What we've explored is because the golf course has a liquor license, we were looking into expanding it to, if you recall, over the summer to provide like seltzer drinks, because it's just a beer license, a malt beverage. So in communication with the LCB, because it is directly the property adjacent under the same owner, we would be able to extend so there's really 2 factors. If we're able to lease it out, we would want a restaurant to come in so we don't have the liability of a liquor license that's serving after hours in the evening hours at a bar. That wouldn't be something our license would support. So we'd want someone to come in to be able to support that. However, our license in theory could extend over to that property as well, the current golf license.
Now, you're going to have an outside person run it?
That is the intent, yes.
The same people there now?
To be determined, to be honest with you, we're still having communications. This is obviously moving quickly, but yeah, hopefully be able to report back sooner rather than later. on a positive outcome of that front. That is a bank, correct?
Can
Citizens
you
Bank.
repeat the question? He doesn't have his microphone.
He was asking about the Burger King property that's under construction. And asking what was going to be going into the former Burger King, and that is it's a bank, a credit union. Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, seeing no other hands raised and nobody here in the building raising their hands, we'll move on to Resolution 2026-11, disposition of township documents.
Thank you, Commissioners. This is an annual resolution that's adopted. These are records that have extended past the required retention policy set forth by the Pennsylvania Historic Museum Commission. It varies per record. Some are two years, some 3, 5, some we have to keep forever. Obviously, we're not destroying those. But we do have quite a bit of paperwork produced, trying to limit that to the best, using the electronic communication wherever we can, but some things need that could be hard copied. And in order to clear up some space, those items that we are able to dispose of, this resolution would authorize us to do so.
Any other questions from the board?
No, we do this every year.
Yep.
So,
All right, I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2026-11 for the disposition of township documents.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Thomas. Any questions from the board? Any from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up, Resolution 2026-12, 2026 Volunteer Fire Police.
Thank you, Commissioners, and of course, Director Stackhouse. If I miss anything out, please feel free to jump in. This is a resolution establishing the list of fire police officers serving the Thorndale Volunteer Fire Company. The list is in your packet, individuals' names. And this would adopt that list to be able to provide fire police services for the township.
Any questions on, the volunteer fire police list?
How'd you get them all in the same room?
I haven't yet. So I will entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2026-12, establishing the 2026 Volunteer Fire Police for the Thorndale Fire Company.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Mullins, second by Commissioner Thomas. Any further questions? Any questions from the public? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Anything else, Don?
No, thank you, Commissioners.
Okay. Next up, minutes to approve, February 12th, 2026. I'll entertain a motion to approve the February 12th, 2026 Board of Commissioner minutes.
So moved.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Thomas. Any questions from the board on minutes or corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next up, acknowledgement of the January 20th, 2026 Planning Commission meetings. So I will entertain a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the January 20th, 2026 Planning Commission minutes.
So moved.
Excuse me, just a comment I brought up to Don earlier today. It was listed, did you check into this? The Foundry Street was listed under, or
I did.
was I incorrect on my
No, you were correct. That was a mistaken copy and paste, and I know brought it to Director Stackhouse's attention. It's going to be looked into, modified.
Okay. So are we able to approve it since we have to make the changes, or they need to?
Yeah, no, I believe you can approve it. It was out of order, but it's still clearly stated what it was for.
Okay.
As long as you're comfortable with that, and then we can just get it clarified. But because it defined what it was for, it was just out of order.
Right. Okay. I'm fine with, as long as you know that the correction needed to be.
Absolutely.
You guys are okay with that?
I'm okay with that. Everybody else?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So back to entertaining a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the January 20th, 2026 Planning Commission
I
minutes.
made the motion.
Is there-
Oh, Yeah, you guys are.
Okay, we did a motion and, okay, all right.
Fine.
So we just need a vote then.
Yes.
So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Any additional business? No? I have one thing. I just want to, I was unable to attend, but want to thank Helen from OCHS and Parks and Rec, Dawn from OCHS, Abby, Jessica, and especially Commissioner Kennedy for all their work on the Carver Court event the other night. I heard it was great and sorry couldn't make it, but just want to acknowledge those people for the great event that they had.
It was a wonderful event. Standing room only and people turned away at the door because they couldn't park. So
Jane, did you want to say anything?
I just, again, my heartfelt thank you to everyone that put their hand to the plow, and especially to our assistant manager, Abby. I mean, we just clenched fists and we got down to work and we knocked it out of the ballpark. And it was a successful time, and many of the compliments and the congratulatory remarks that are still coming in just resounded everything that reflected on the exhibit and the fellowship, and it was a beautiful occasion, and it just made me extra proud to represent Cowan Township. Thank you.
Thanks, Jane. And if you haven't seen the all the items in the township lobby, please come in and see them. They'll be up for a while, right? Okay, so yeah, the display is really awesome out in the lobby. So come look at the history of Carver Court.
I just want to tag on that there was one family that's been there 85 years. And there were multiple generations of that family. And just seeing them have their picture taken together was just wild. So
Yeah, we got a lot of footprints still here in the community.
oh yeah.
And an event like we hosted gave new life and new vitality to the community. I mean,
Mhm.
even when they might have not thought how precious it is, hopefully this will give them, a new way of looking and taking even greater pride in
Mhm.
preserving the community.
Okay, any other additional business from the board?
I did have one other thing. It was brought to my attention at our last meeting that we took a vote on the alcohol use at the Spackman Davis
Mhm.
Farm, the picnic
Mhm.
scheduled for this year. But it was not listed as an agenda item. We only had discussion and an action for the Spackman Davis Farm picnic.
Okay.
But what I did is I looked back last year at our May meeting and we actually had it listed as the alcohol use for the picnic and a vote for that. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention. I didn't want the residents to feel, or let's just put it like this, we need to be transparent. If we're going to vote on an alcohol use on a township property, I think it should be listed as an agenda item.
Okay,
So this person was concerned about this.
okay, going forward, we'll make sure that that's clear.
Thank you.
All right, any other additional business? All right, seeing none, public comment. Anybody here in the township building? Anybody online? And what time is it? 8:45.
Bye, Tony.
A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, everyone.